Welcome back, everybody. It's the Aces NBA show, and we'll be live every single week right here on American Aces. We have Pistols Pete, the voice of everything basketball in the house. Pistols, you are on fire. The Claw did exactly what you said.
I'm waiting. I've been keeping receipts. I know some people online just said I'm carrying on a bit, but I'm that high on the Clippers. I'm that high on Kawhi. And the way that he came out, the way that he did what he always does when he's healthy, I've been waiting for this, actually. So when we get to it, because I've been patiently waiting since last week. When I see the comments in the DMs, I've just been waiting my time. I'm ready to roll.
I love it. Our man, Jeffrey Goebbels, he's not one and done. He's just got a little cashy on the Gold Coast. So we thought we'd sub him in with a man that doesn't need an introduction. It is Thanasi Kokkinakis in the building. How are you, big fella?
Mate, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Let's talk hoops.
And you love talking hoops, but you also love an opinion when it comes to basketball. And we'll talk about Bam Adebayo later for multiple reasons. Boys, there's plenty to talk about. And I want to start with Jimmy Butler, fresh off game 2. His coccyx bone has copped a hammering. Are we concerned, or is it just a little, MRI and he'll be fine? Is it bone bruising? What do you think's going to happen here, Pistols?
Well, they said it was bone bruising. It was a big hit. He was up there, got taken out by one of the Thompson brothers. I always forget which one is on which team. They look identical. They play very similar. But it was a big hit. I'm not so much concerned. He's one of the toughest guys in the league. He'll come back and play, I'm sure. This is one of the most exciting series overall, though. I want them both to be at full strength. I want to see the best of Golden State going against the best of Houston. It's scrappy. It's physical. Steph, the game's finished, hours ago. Steph is probably still being held wherever he is. That dude is getting beat up by Houston Rockets. I'm hoping it's not going to keep him out of any games because I think it'll go to 7 and then it's kind of a coin toss.
Do you think if Jimmy's out,
they're done.
Houston get it?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it without Jimmy there. Jimmy has been there, bro. I think they were 27-3 when Jimmy and Steph both played. So, there's the stats of what they can do when they're both there. They've been the number one defense, the number one, all of that since Jimmy came in the trade. If he's not there, they just go straight back to being average.
Let's talk about it. Let's just say Jimmy comes back, but he's a little bit banged up. Cock, who wins that series?
Oh, I think Houston. I think if Houston can hit from deep, that's going to be a big one. If they can't, I think there's too much weighing on Jimmy for him not to be 100%. If he's not 100%, I don't know which other role players can step up from Golden State. So if he can't be himself like he was in game 1, it's going to be real tough for them.
Maybe Kuminga.
He played well. He came in and played well.
He might be the man. He's been waiting for an opportunity.
He's looking for his trade value to go up as well. So if he gets the opportunity, but you're right. So if it's a break or anything like that, he's in a bit of trouble. He looked in a lot of pain. I thought he was going to try and play through it. Maybe they're just taking the cautious approach. If it's a bone bruising, couple jabs here and there, couple of anti-inflams throwing back out there, they're going to need him to be at 100% because playoff Jimmy's real. We spoke about it last week. Playoff Jimmy's real. I think Houston will get it done pretty convincingly if he's not available. But on the flip side of that, because of game 1, we're never going to see a Steph Curry ever again. Ever. This man changed the game and no one's going to be to his level of shot making that we'll ever see again. You see all these guys coming through, elite shooters who potentially could make a splash. Shout out Jimmer Fredette. He announced his retirement from basketball today. Love Jimmer. But Steph is one of one and we need to be more appreciative of what we've seen.
I agree. You see your Jordan Pools, they go 1 from 30, trying to attempt the same stuff. That 3 he hit, I think it was his 5th 3, where he just had no right to drop that in game 1. It's crazy to think that they're going to need something. They're going to need something from him if Jimmy's out for the next couple because he needs to be putting up 40s, I think.
So anytime we've ever played, whether you guys have played social or whatever, if anyone's just being an absolute nuisance to you defensively, you're going to try and give him a little bit. But when I play, if it gets crossed the line, I'm just checked out. I'm just this is too hard. But Steph's getting beat up and then doing that, just tossing it up. This man, he's a different beast. And as I said, we need to appreciate greatness while we have greatness in front of us.
If you didn't see the Jimmy Butler incident, we were talking about it on the way in, me and Cock. Was it Draymond Green's fault for pushing his opponent into him, or would you say it was just accidental?
It's tough. I want to give Draymond the benefit of the doubt. He cops enough shit, but
he does.
A lot of it's warranted.
It is warranted. He's a pest, but it's tough. He got a little nudge. Amen had nowhere to really go, but yeah, dangerous injury. Could have, fingers crossed, it's just a little bruise, but it could have been a lot worse.
It was nasty. He hit the ground hard. I hope it's just a cork buttock.
I'm hoping it wasn't. What I was glad that I thought the Houston fans were going to boo, because you know how when you're just against them, the physicality's there from both sides. They clearly saw Thompson go underneath him. Draymond a little bit, Pajewski a little bit of a push. Could he have avoided it? Maybe. You definitely didn't do it on purpose. Yeah. There was no malice in it, but Oh yeah, I really hope that he's back to at least 90% for. Otherwise, this is an exciting. We said it. This is gonna be a very exciting series to watch. The whole flavor goes out of it. So yeah, I hope it's just a bruised what?
Buttock.
Yeah,
You got me off guard because I just saw the survey results come in. The players actually vote on all these categories, and I found one category the most interesting, which is the most overrated player. And when it comes to overrated, everyone has an opinion, but Tyrese Haliburton has taken the chocolates.
Stiff. First, I don't know how many players, if every player votes, because I know a lot of leagues do this where players anonymously put their votes in. Some, I don't think LeBron's voting. Like, I don't think any of the top dogs are. So I don't know how many they got, but I wouldn't expect, if you asked me this beforehand and said, quiz me, who would be most overrated, my first guess would probably go to where your first guess would go.
Yeah, it's got to be Rudy. For a guy that's won Defensive Player of the Year, I think 4 times, he cannot play end of games. He gets isolated on defense. There's nothing more entertaining than watching Luka isolate him on the wing and turn him inside out. He looks like a big Gumby out there. I have.
He gets that from everybody, though.
Austin Reeves was cooking him. He only broke his ankles and then just took him for a little left-hand layup.
Have you looked at his shoes when he's on court? They're the biggest flippers I've ever seen. No wonder he can't run.
$300 million flippers.
Firstly, what is he, 7'2", 7'1"?
Yeah, but they look ridiculous.
Yeah. He was number 2, I think, in the list, wasn't he, Rudy Gobert? I thought he would have been voted number 1. For sure. Tyrese, I think he's stiff there. Yeah. I understand he hasn't played to the level of his contract since he signed it, one of the big first like max deals that everyone was like, wow, this is a lot of money. But you don't just have like 15 plus assist games with no turnovers by accident. Like he's an all-star caliber guard. I don't know what they're seeing with overrated. It's really, really stiff for him.
Guess who come third with 8.9% of votes?
Give me a hint.
Well, he's a teammate of the
Trae Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. He's been kind of accused for stat padding. He puts up good numbers, stats. His efficiency isn't great, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the Hawks are doing, to be honest, on another topic with their team. I don't know why they got rid of Bogdanović and Hunter.
Well, they're in a rebuild phase. I think that completely comes down to the fact that the Hawks haven't won anything. So that's why they're just like, and you know he's going to chat. Trey chats, especially in New York. He has the fan base of New York just wrapped around his finger. So I think that's, you know what? Maybe it's all New York people voting.
Maybe it is. I thought he was stiff. We just had the clutch player of the year, which went to Jalen Brunson. But I reckon Trae Young, he's pretty clutch when you watch him, especially when he's in New York.
He is clutch.
What an award that is, by the way, the clutch player of the year. Just making up awards.
I don't even know what that's about. I have to look deep into the stats.
There are very, very intricate stats and some that, and if we sat here, so Jalen Brunson won it. If we sat here and said, if you've got someone in mind to like take over a game late, and this is no disrespect to Jalen Brunson, who I think is an all-star guard, one of the best guards in the league, but he's probably not in my top 10 picks of that. Now, his numbers back it up, yes, in the clutch, but it's just such a weird, I don't think he goes home thinking, let's put it this way. I don't think there's incentives in contracts to win clutch player of the year.
Yeah, it's well said, which means it's a weird award.
Sixth
man of the year, though.
Well, that's going to be a big one. Payton Pritchard, well-deserved.
Very well
Could have got some great juice for him at the start of the season, but he's the best bench guy on the best team. Have you seen his TikTok videos? Have you seen it? You need to go back. If you haven't seen him, go back and watch Payton Pritchard in a garage just playing like ball handling stuff. It's insane. And the dude, I think he in an interview said he pays his friends every summer to come and just play defense for an hour. Or he plays defense on them, one of the two.
Rotates them out.
Just rotates them through and just tries to get buckets nonstop.
I need you to give me your most overrated player because you guys disagree with Tyrese. Who is the most overrated player? You've already said Rudy.
I had another one, but he's kind of not really rated anymore, but it was Kuzma. A few years back, I thought he was dog shit.
He's not rated anymore, though.
No, not anymore, but
the Donut King?
When they were
in the past, 21 minutes and zero stats.
The Tony Snell game.
Yeah, this was before any of that. Yeah. I just always thought he was overrated. I had Draymond up there. I know he used to be good and played a role. He's obviously very good defensively still, but I don't think anyone else can get away with a stat line of 3, 5, and 3 with one steal and one block and be like a difference maker. I know you have to watch the game, but
no, it's a good call. He'd be, but you're right. I don't think he's rated to the level he used to be. Yeah. My head goes to someone who like you think he makes a lot of money, Ryan doesn't live up to it. Jaren Jackson Jr. I might cop some flack for that, but I just think that what he can do with the size he's got, the mobility, I don't think we see it consistently enough, and that's why Memphis. I know there's 2 games left of the series, but Memphis can book their holiday to Cancun already. That's over. They're not going to beat OKC at all.
Not when Jar's 10 from 25. They're down by what, 10?
But that's the product of not having your complementary pieces like Triple J.
Did you see at the start of game 2? They could not score, and it was off the back of a 50 piece. I'm thinking, where's the mind? Like, what are they doing?
Cancun on 3. They're already in Cancun. They're chilling.
Oh, well, we can't count them off yet. They're going back home. If they can start shooting.
Count them off, they're done.
They are done. We'll talk about them later. I've got mine. It's Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is the most overrated player. I'm telling you now, what has he been doing for the last 10 years? He has done nothing with Durant. Bill, I'm telling you, he's the most overrated player in the league that's of high profile.
Nah, that's stiff from you.
He was the best player on the finals team.
What was he doing
He was better
when
than
they
KD.
needed him? What was he doing?
Firstly, I'm not blaming all of Phoenix Suns' chaos in the front office, all
Mate,
that.
he puts up 40 pieces when the season's over, but when they're in contention, he wasn't scoring 20.
So it's Devin Booker's fault that Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause.
Well,
and
just
doing
do
nothing.
something. They say he's the next Kobe. Kobe ain't doing what he's doing mid-season. Once they were out of contention, he started
that's
putting up
stiff from
40
you.
pieces.
He went to the
I
Olympics.
love him, but I'm watching them just fade away, and he's doing nothing. He's a scorer.
I can't blame all of Phoenix's downfalls.
I'm not blaming all of them. I'm saying he's overrated, and they're not going to have any success if he doesn't shoot the ball all year.
No, I love the confidence you've come with that. And you know what? We're all allowed to have misses. That's a miss from you.
It looked like a miss when I looked at you guys and I said it. I kept it a surprise. Let's go through the other categories quickly. Most underrated player, Cade Cunningham. MVP was SGA. And then we had a few coaches' results. But let's just stick with one more category, and that is the most underrated. Do you agree, Cade Cunningham?
Well, I think he's properly rated now, though. Like, he's an absolute... So I think Cade Cunningham, and we'll talk about the Knicks and the Pistons. I think Cade Cunningham, if he's not already there, he's a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah.
He's an absolute superstar.
He is.
He's a weapon. With that height at point guard, he can get to whatever spot he wants. He looks like he's never rushed. He's just going to continue to get better. But again, number one pick. Can you really? I don't know. He's that good.
Yeah,
I think
it's like we kind of expect him to be good. So it's Derek White stiff.
But Derek White, he's unbelievable. Drew Holiday as well. Drew Holiday is one of my most underrated players of all time. I think Drew Holiday doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He's an absolute dual gold medalist, dual champion, one of the best defenders in the league, second best guard defender behind Dyson Daniels. But Dyson Daniels could be one of the most underrated players. So could Josh Giddey. We'll take our Aussies out of it.
Yeah, those two Aussies are definitely up there, especially with the back half of the season Giddey had. I've got another one. He's getting rated now, but Franz Wagner from the Magic. Watch them today. Watch them all year. He's a star. They just got no one else. Him and Banchero.
Yeah.
The team
Who do
is
they need? If you could get them in, you get another player in next year, who do they need?
Oh, they need a point guard. They need a good point guard. LaMelo would be interesting on there.
No.
You don't think?
Melo on there.
Kind of want to spice it up a little bit. They're so boring. They need some offense.
Well,
they got Corey Joseph starting. I can't.
Well, you'd be the worst organisation at the Hornets at 38%. They would be cooked if he left that organisation.
They would be. They need some serious get back.
Jalen Suggs is injured, so that hurts them. But they were on the cusp of getting either PG or Klay Thompson last year as well.
Thank God they didn't.
Yeah, geez, they could have. Well, Klay would have been all right. You could have a bit of shooting.
Here's the results. Most underrated player, Derek White comes second with 7.4%. Norman Powell,
that's
at 4.4. Austin Reeves, 3.7. And then your man, Jaren Jackson Jr.,
Underrated.
2.9%.
Underrated.
He tied Drew Holiday in fifth.
Nah, turn it up. That's a stitch
So
up.
maybe you've had a little miss there, big fella. We're shooting
Is that
airballs.
for real?
That's for real. I'm looking at it.
What was his voting percentage?
2.9%. It was a very wide spread.
That is literally him voting for himself.
Or maybe his team. Let's get straight into the Clippers and Nuggets series. This is exciting AF, as we have on the run sheet. The Claw is unguardable. And you said this last week, and there's even comparisons right now with a few analysts in America calling him, not calling him, but saying he's got similar traits to MJ. Same hand, same jumper. What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
I expected this. When healthy, Kawhi Leonard, we forget because he's been injured for so long and injured at the wrong time. The man is an absolute superstar. Defensively is one thing. He does that at a very, very high level. You talk about his hands, his wingspan, how strong he is. But offensively, his efficiency. So playoff games with 30 points, shooting 75% from the field. He had 4 of them. Other players that have 4 of them is Shaq and Kareem. 2 centers who just dunk it. So this is a guy who shoots mid-range jumpers. He was unstoppable. Aaron Gordon's trying, but this is what, and I'm looking at everybody who thought that I was laughing when I say I'm fully on.
What are you going to say to them?
I am jump on the Clippers bandwagon now. They're going to beat the Nuggets in this series. They're going to play OKC very tough. I copped some flack already about saying they beat OKC. OKC look that good right now. So I'm just going to backtrack that one. But I'm all on board. I think if Kawhi stays healthy, this Clippers team can cause some serious damage in this playoffs. Led behind the Claw. I'm very happy with how hard I went last week.
Conference semifinals, OKC versus the Clippers would be box office.
Bloody oath it would. It would be again, I don't think they have that matchup for Kawhi. They don't have, and again, I know the clip went out last week. Thank you for putting on some really good vision of him scoring on OKC to back up my point. But that's the one area that could hurt OKC, even though they look phenomenal right now. They've still got to get through the Nuggets because what Nikola Jokić is managing to do. Have you ever seen, when's the last time you saw someone play a sport with such ease and dominance?
It's insane how much better he makes everyone around him, what he can do. Someone that looks that out of shape to continuously like dictate when in a game full of athletes, the game slows down. He can do everything on the court. He's one of the best couple players I've ever seen in my life.
Cock just thinking of Roger Federer when you asked that.
He's absurd. I can't believe how good he is. He's doing it so easy as well. And you just look up at the box sheet and he's got 30, 10 and 10 in his sleep and he makes everyone better. If he can get a few guys along with a ride, if Murray can stay consistent, Porter hasn't been great to start. He needs to be a little bit better.
His shoulder as well. Hopefully he's all right.
I'm trying to think of like a different sporting comparison that can make it not so much the athletic build because obviously Joker's one-on-one, but someone who makes dominating look so effortless and so easy with the IQ. Roger Federer is not a bad pick tennis-wise. You have more.
Yeah, he does. He's obviously a lot better athlete, but the way they can kind of make it look so easy without trying is definitely very similar. I just can't believe how good he is.
He's
every
so
time.
selfless. Like I think he's going to need to score more as they go through these series.
He could score 60 if he
Well,
wants.
there was a lot of times where I thought he could have, he's shooting the 3-ball well and he just didn't pull it. And in the end, they lost that game too. But he was a bit wayward at the free throw line as well. I think he can go to another level. I feel like he's got a bit more scoring in him for the next few games.
Yeah, he had 9 points at halftime of game, the other game. Like that's the issue, right? So if he's not having like 15, 20, he needs to be putting. It's a lot of pressure to put on one player. Though.
Hey, Zubac's been good. Like he's actually,
Really
I'm surprised they haven't been more aggressive with him at the start. Get him in foul trouble, then you can't stop.
Then it's DeAndre Jordan. So that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, he's rough. But he's got to be a chance for most improved as well. He's got to be up there. Zubac.
Yeah.
He's been what he shoots from the field. I mean, he doesn't really shoot, but like his percentages through the roof.
He's been scoring in the first 2 games. That's the thing. He's putting up his 15, 18, and I just think that's the matchup. If he continues that, Clippers win.
Again, Norman Powell hasn't got off yet either.
Yeah.
Like, he's been this is why
cold, isn't he?
This is why I'm backing, and Bogdanović has been cold off the bench. This is why I'm backing the Clippers to be able to get it done. And led by Kawhi, who, by the way, the more I think about Kawhi's like legacy, it's probably going to go down for me as one of the biggest what ifs in like basketball history, in sporting history. And I talk about what ifs of if he stayed healthy throughout the whole time. We know what he did when he led them to a championship in Toronto. Like we've seen it all at the Spurs. If he stayed healthy, what kind of legacy would we be talking about? Well, I'm talking about like D Rose level what ifs. Like if D Rose didn't get hurt, if Brandon Roy, one of my favorite players of all time, didn't get hurt. Like what if he stayed healthy?
If the Clippers win this year, there would be no what ifs.
Yeah, well, then we're talking a different.
More.
That's a different story about where he ranks of all time. He can drag the Clippers to winning a title this year.
Yeah, that's absurd.
I wouldn't be shocked because
His press conference was interesting. He just spoke about how he's proud to be healthy. He's literally just taken, each moment, I guess. He's just so proud that he can get off the court and feel good. You forget he's been out with ACL, PCL. He's missed
every L.
So much. Yeah, every L possible. For 3 years we've missed him. It's amazing to think.
I've never seen anyone with less fuss about it as well. There's nothing extra in his game. He just does all the fundamentals unbelievably well, never complains. Seems like you can put him into any team and he'd flourish. So, yeah, what he can do is crazy.
And he smiled like twice in his life.
Yeah.
Like only 2 times.
If you had a challenge, boys, and you had to look him in the eyes and you got paid $1 billion to make him laugh, what would you say to him?
Oh, no, you lose. You're not winning that money.
There's no chance.
Maybe
Maybe
I just play back his iconic laugh and just hope that works. I don't think there's anything. I just think he's just so locked in and just like
a genuine robot.
Yeah, and again, it's worked wonders for him.
No socials. He's just a different beast.
Yeah, one of a kind. Him and Jokić kind of a little bit similar in the fact that they kind of have no fuss about him. Again, Jokić, no socials, barely ever seen him complaining, apart from to the refs a little bit, trying to get a call.
Either besides, I mean, you see the Joker at like the trots and stuff.
We're not bringing up the trots again.
No, but like you don't see Kawhi like getting snapped by like paparazzi at dinners or like he just chills and just goes about his business.
Wears his New Balance hoodies.
Yeah,
he doesn't kit up. Just rolls
doesn't
in,
leave
gets
home.
it done.
Just does not leave home until he has to go to the game.
Well, I can't wait to see how that pans out. I hope it goes to 7. We need 7 for that one.
I just hope the Clippers win, otherwise I'm off the show.
No, you're not going anywhere. Let's talk about the Knicks. The Big Cat has been weak as water, I'll say. On the run sheet, there was another word. Cocky, talk to me about what they need from Cat if they're going to take the Pistons down.
They need more. He had a good game 1. again, had 10 points in the first half, the second game, and then just went completely missing. I think he had 10 and 4 and finished with 10 and 6 in the second half, and that's just not getting it done. It's too much pressure on Brunson. Bridges has become super inconsistent. Anunoby finished the season well, but he's got a lot of defending to do as well. But yeah, Cat needs to be at least right there up there with Brunson as their best player. And yeah, 10 points ain't cutting it. He's got to be more aggressive for sure.
Bride was super off the bench, but you're right. Cat they just needed more out of the big fella. And Anunoby, he's fatigued.
Inside.
They all look tight. Yeah. They played like the most minutes of anyone. Tibbs is, and I mean, I'm not sure what podcast or what might have been a Barstool thing talking about like Tibbs. Like is Tibbs on his last chance here? He'd be getting close. Again, the cycling of coaches. I think it was someone was saying over the past like 15, 10 years or maybe even like 20 years, there's only been like 3 coaches or something or 3 teams that haven't fired a coach.
Yeah, I thought it was 2, maybe.
Like it's insane. It's insane that, so like you'd be thinking, what can
Popovich was one.
Popovich and Spoelstra.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. Or Steve Kerr might have been the other one.
3, it is 3.
So, but like it's just what he's always putting all this pressure on the starters, which worries me.
With sports science and, where we're at these days, you can't be running like Hart and all these blokes into the ground all year. It's crazy.
Hart's minutes are through the roof. And if you watch how hard he plays, he tries to do everything for him. But yeah, they need some more scoring from Cat because they hustle. They got a couple good wing defenders. But yeah, Cat needs to join Brunson.
Problem is though, Detroit are a bunch of dogs. They are way tougher than New York. And that's just, and again, I'm as New York as they come in terms of I went to college.
That's a big call from the king of New York.
But they're just a tougher team right now and they're showing that. And I don't want to get into the whole like foul baiting and the flopping and doing all of that because everyone does it now, right? Everybody tries to milk it to their advantage. But just the toughness to go into MSG, the way they played. Cade Cunningham is an absolute superstar. The bench, I like the way that I said this before the playoffs started. All the swagger, all the shit talk from Detroit. If they take a backward step in the playoffs, it'll get exposed. But they're stepping up to that plate now, and so much so that Game 3 is what decides the series. If they lose Game 3 on their home floor, I think Detroit will get nervous. But if they win that, I think Detroit will win the series.
And huge growth to close the game on the road. That look like the Knicks are going to get it again, and they just closed it out. Cade Cunningham, he's a superstar. He
is, and I genuinely believe that if he's not already there, he'll be a top 10 player in the league very soon. Scores at all 3 levels, rebounds at a high rate, can play make with the best of them, and just never looks rattled.
Yeah.
Like to have that in big moments at such an early part in your career, it's harder. We're all geniuses in hindsight to sit here and be like, oh, this is what a number 1 pick should do. But he's taken the jump from Detroit. Like they were terrible last year.
Yeah.
The last few years have been terrible. He's put them on their back, and he's an absolute superstar.
Are we leaning Detroit in that series at the moment?
Just don't know what you're going to get from Cat.
Are you saying it's going to be Cat or bust?
I think Cat decides it. I think Detroit are kind of maxing out. Tobias Harris has got to keep scoring. I mean, is that their second option? I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
They got some depth, but Beasley's been really good off the bench. If he hits some threes and Hardaway hits some threes, it could be interesting. But yeah, I think New York have the more talented team, but it just depends how much Cat's going to show up.
No, that's spot on. The New York Knicks are way more talented than Detroit, all through their roster. Yeah. But it's just playing with that little extra edge of toughness in the playoffs that matters. So I'm not going to pick yet. I'm going to enjoy my spot on the fence. Whoever wins Game 3 will win the series.
It won't really matter because they go and play Celtics afterwards. Let's get into some games we need to break down. The Lakers and the Wolves. Let's talk about our man, the Ant-Man. We told you he loves talking a little bit of shit. Well, he's copped a $50,000 fine. Can someone tell me why he got that?
He brought your surname up, didn't he?
I believe so.
He said it's bigger. He's telling a fan he's got a bigger your nickname. I couldn't believe it.
He's got a bigger Thanasi.
Bigger Thanasi to someone in the crowd.
He probably does, honestly.
It's wild though, but he just doesn't care. Right? He just goes about it. The actual on-court stuff worries me a bit from the Wolves' perspective. If their bench doesn't play, if Dante DiVincenzo gets in foul trouble with Naz Reid, I don't think they have enough weapons to be able to get it done. I thought his youth, though, as a player really showed out in Game 2 where he's only 23. So he's 23 years old. The experience is still going to come. He's nowhere near his prime. Meanwhile, I think JJ Redick went down the Tibbs path, though, in Game 2 and said, I've got 6.5 players I can play. Luka played 42 minutes. LeBron played 39. Finney Smith was 38. Like, they just said, screw it. My bench is no good. And And they just picked on your mate.
Don't get me started on this because Jackson Hayes and Jared Vanderbilt are a couple of the worst players I think I've ever seen, mate. Dude, if you actually watch, I know Hayes does some stuff defensively where he can be good.
He was scared.
He was horrible in the last game. Vanderbilt, I've never seen do anything positive.
Yeah.
He barely plays and he sucks. Like, he's just no good. He's no good. They shouldn't play him. But the Wolves just got in foul trouble with a lot of their good bench players. DiVincenzo was a big loss. So they didn't have much off the bench. But yeah, Ant's one of my favorite players to watch. And you mentioned them playing a weird zone sort of defense, which he didn't know how to attack. But he obviously needs to be big for them. Randall was really good. But if DiVincenzo and Reed can come off the bench and keep hitting. I don't know if McDaniels is going to replicate what he did in game one.
He's playing very well this season.
Most underrated. I reckon Naz Reid's in there, that discussion. Geez, he's hard to stop. And it's weird that he doesn't start. You know, he can do it all.
You could start him. I mean, you could start him at the 5 and Randall at the 4 because right now, literally the entire Lakers game plan is find Rudy Gobert however we do it and just whoever it is, isolate him.
Which is crazy for a 4-time defensive player of the year to just isolate.
On 300 mil, wasn't it? Wasn't Ant saying he's on 300 and my Thanasi's bigger than you?
Would Vanderbilt cook Gobert in a one-on-one though?
Vanderbilt, I've seen him shoot like 3 times and he's airballed all 3. So he gets in foul trouble and airballs and does the odd block and everyone says he's in for defensive purposes. I'm sick of it. He sucks.
Well, we're going to be breaking the Lakers Wolves down again next week. This thing's going to 7. I can feel this going to 7.
I can see it going. If it goes to 7, Lakers win in 7. But the isolation ball, like just picking on Rudy Gobert, the Wolves are going to have to figure out what to do because right now, it happens every single year. Luka versus Rudy has some exciting history. He
doesn't like him, does he?
They don't like each other, and there's going to be more. But it's barbecue chicken, man. When he gets on the
crowd goes nuts every time they see that ISO matchup. The Lakers crowd is going nuts.
It's a bucket or a foul every single time. And I understand what people don't like Rudy, but I give him credit. He gets down in a stance, and as soon as he does this, Luka's just sitting there, just being like, "I'm eating this. Like this is absolute." With ease. I don't know what they're going to do. LeBron somehow he was on his own podcast and Steve Nash said, well, do you take vitamins or creatine? He's like, just your everyday vitamins and a fruit smoothie. Turn it up, mate.
Well, the other thing I
wouldn't
noticed...
mind some of that, especially as I'm thinning out on top. Just need to get a bit of LeBron in me.
The other thing I noticed as well to start the game, LeBron's intensity defensively was off the charts. Yeah, I haven't seen that from him in a while, and you can tell he definitely made a point of that in game 2. So if he keeps that up, they're going to be tough to beat.
He's steal late and basket late. That turned. That just locked it in, but. He's come from the blind side on Ant-Man. It's just fascinating to see him doing this at the age he is.
It's going to be insane to see. So if that goes to 7 games and JJ keeps playing 6.5 players, they're going to be some tired lads. Yeah. They're going to be really tired going into the next series. I think they've got to win it in 6 if they want to progress out of the next phase, I think. So if it goes to 7, if they win that, they're going to lose the next series to Golden State or Houston.
Well, if they get Warriors without Butler, that'd be a dream.
Nah, they're not. If Butler's out, Golden State's out.
Yeah. Love it. Let's keep talking Bucks Pacers because it's getting spicy. And Dame Lillard and Tyrese Haliburton, they don't like each other. Did you see Tyrese hiding behind the umpire as they were lipping off?
There's history. There's history with these two. They've just been chatting back and forth on the court for a little bit. Yeah. I'm expecting. Well, I don't know whether it was just recent or someone put. You know, how people pull up old clips of coaches and stuff. Where Doc Rivers was saying, I'm so confident in this series, like down 0-2.
That's a new one, I think.
Well, I don't know if you shouldn't. I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
They just don't play D, man. Like
Giannis hasn't won a final since 2022. It's
not
crazy.
His fault though.
I know, but it's crazy to think someone like him has got enough weapons around to win one.
He's got a weapon. He's got Dame Lillard.
What
about crazy eyes off the bench?
Bobby Portis, he's pretty good, man.
Bobby Portis, man. What about crazy eyes when he comes on? He can do it all. He rebounds, he shoots threes.
Bobby Portis is all right.
Crazy eyes on the court. And Dame Lillard has come, he has done nothing because of that blood clot. He hasn't trained. The big fella's put on about 50 skinnies. I need Bobby Portis on the court, man.
You're taking Kuzma off. You're done with Kuz, obviously.
Kuz sucks. Portis has been way better than Kuzma. They're going to need Kuzma to hit some threes. They're going to need him to score probably 20.
They need that energy, and I just don't think they have it. I think the Pacers have more depth, more well-rounded talent. I'm not giving any of that trouble to Giannis, though. It's not Giannis is dropping 50, 20, and 20.
It's his fault. I just found that stat staggering.
He's going to. I can't see him staying in
Cox
Milwaukee.
lost the crazy eyes.
The face to me.
I did the eyes behind your back there, Pistols. While you're losing it, I think we need to keep moving here, boys, because the top seeds are all just cruising. Boston cruising, OKC. Well, what's another word above cruising?
They're taking the absolute piss.
That's what they're doing. They're taking
OKC
the
are
mickey.
taking the absolute piss, winning by 50, winning by 30. Anyone scoring, it doesn't look like they're getting out of
The
first gear.
MVP's not even
trying.
He's not required.
He's not required. They are absolutely taking the piss out of Memphis, and they're just cruising through. They know their test is going to come in the next series and beyond that. But I thought that they might have like that mental of like, we're better than you, we're going to win, and they might slip up. They look that bloody good. And I know I tipped against them if the Clippers get out of the series, but I just don't know how if they can continue playing this way.
Serious one for me. You're the NBA, NBL, just, the voice of basketball. You're the analyst.
Lead with that.
What is it that they're doing? Why are they playing such good team basketball?
Honestly, it's a swagger thing though. Like, because they are so young. I think their average age is like 23 and a half, like their starters. And they continue to say, we're not afraid to admit that we're young and we're just going to play with this like ridiculous stupidity after with the games at the press conferences. They're playing like kids and they're just going out there, just playing for one another. Dagnall's coaching his ass off and they look that good. Chet looks unreal. Hartenstein, what a pickup that was.
He's unbelievable.
Lou Dort, the Dortula, the Dort Chamber, whatever you want to call him. He's an unbelievable defender. And then SGA, Jalen Williams. J-Dub's a stud.
Actually, we go back to most underrated. He has to be in the discussion.
Jalen Williams?
Yeah.
He was in the All-Star game though, so they obviously rate him, but
still kind of feels underrated, doesn't he?
He's not very well or not talked about much, but it feels like every player they have that's a role player can shoot and defend, and they just play together. And I can't believe how good they look.
And
there.
shoot from downtown.
Yeah, they just hustle and they're snipers, all of them. So they're good
and they're
to
playing
watch.
against Jaren Jackson Jr., so they're going to win. You know how it is.
I thought Jaren was going all right.
Running rings around Big Zach Edey.
The big boy.
It's a tough matchup for him. He's a rookie. He'll be right.
Oh, we keep moving through. And as the last discussion, we got all the games to break down, but it's are Cleveland the real deal?
Yeah, in the East they are, until they run into Boston. They'll get through all that with ease. Like Donovan Mitchell's a stud. Jared Allen's playing well. Mobley, Garland. I found it interesting, though, in the press conference today where Darius Garland, they asked, what's your game plan against Miami? And he said, just pick on Tyler Hero.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
that's not like Lakers have Rudy Gobert. They're just getting Tyler Hero in every defensive coverage and just going out Tyler Hero.
He said that publicly. I missed that.
How wild is that, though? If you're sitting at home at Tyler Hero, you better have 50 next game.
To go their best player, but at least Hero's doing something down the other end.
Yeah.
Gobert's nothing.
No, that's not who you're talking about. You're talking about Bam Adebayo.
Oh, no, he just pissed me off today. But that's they're gonna need more than 11 from their second best player if they want to have a chance.
Well, they had a chance as well. They're only down 2 there for a second. I think there's a couple.
But because no one else was doing anything, I never really gave them a chance for that. Like Bam has to be better, more consistent. We know the level we've seen. We haven't seen enough. Is he in the most overrated?
Most overrated might be up there. Underrated, actually, we're watching him a lot lately, is Davion Mitchell. He's been unbelievable for them.
Yeah.
Great defender, making a lot of threes now. Without them, they wouldn't have been through the play-in, I don't think. So, Hero's been big. They need Wiggins to step up. He's too inconsistent, too erratic, especially.
I forgot he was on the team, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. He goes missing, especially from his early Minnesota days where he could drop 40. He's kind of gone missing. So they need him to score. But they're
the Cavs will sweep them.
Yeah, they're done.
Just looking at what we've got in front of us from the first round, and Pistons, Knicks, it's lived up to the hype, you would agree. Then you've got Nuggets and Clippers.
Yep.
And then it's Lakers and Timberwolves.
Yep.
And then pending Jimmy, that one is also box office. But the rest, pretty stock standard, you can kind of predict.
And it's what you expect, though, for a number one seed. Yeah. Well, the West, I mean, Thunder are going to get through. Yeah, it's all about the West. This is why you'd love to see a no-conference playoffs. It'd be very interesting to see a no-conference playoffs of how that looks. But the Cavs are going to sweep Miami. Boston's going to sweep Orlando. If you can win like that without Jason Tatum. So I know you've got another question coming soon.
Banchero's a star as well. They need to give him some help.
Who's that?
Banchero.
Yeah.
He's a star. They just got no one else.
And Franz, but they're one piece away from having a real crack next year. Like, they're not going to do anything this year, but they're one acquisition away, whether it's a point guard or a center, from having a real crack.
The tweet that's come in, they should add NBA wayoffs and have the 4 worst teams play off for the number 1 pick. What's your thoughts on that idea?
It's pretty interesting. It would get rid of a bit more hope. That's I don't know. I think that would be exciting. Imagine that, especially with Cooper Flagg coming in as number 1 pick, having that as to play for is It's going to be huge.
Imagine playing for Wemby in the wayoff. So you'd see some physicality. I reckon you'd see the boys actually trying for once.
On one hand, I'd love to see it. On the other hand, I don't want to watch Brooklyn again. So that's the other side. I don't want to see Brooklyn, Washington run around right now, but it would make things interesting. But the lottery is always fascinating to see. I mean, when the Cavs got the number 1 pick and they had like a 1% chance, I think Chicago's got a 1.7% chance of the number 1 pick. The last time they had that, they got Derrick Rose. Wow. So there's a chance that they could get Cooper Flag, very small chance. But back on the whole like picks and everything, this is what OKC have set up. OKC have 2 first-round picks and a 36% chance of getting the 7th pick from Philly if they don't get their right pick.
It's crazy.
Like they're adding to where they're at now.
They're set up.
That's why they're the best. They weren't rated the best organization. I think they were 3rd on that.
Golden
survey.
State Warriors come in first.
That's probably a Bay Area type understanding too. There, yeah, it's a bit different.
Celtics got to be up there as well.
Yeah, it'd be Oklahoma versus where do you want to live? Oklahoma or the Bay Area? It's probably
that's true.
Huge show, boys. Huge show, and we appreciate everyone that's tuned in on the Aces NBA show and all our channels. Cocky, it's great to have you here, mate. We'll have you around as long as you are here and you're doing some rehab. Just on that, how's it tracking?
Getting there. It's a slow process. We'll see how we go, but yeah, it's probably looking like very late this year or start of next to get better. Fingers crossed it gives me a chance to play a few more years.
Love it. Well, no, you'll definitely be back. But in the meantime, we have you right here in the studio. I've got a quick one for you, boys. Who would you rather? We're going to do this every week. Get ready. Go on, Sean. Just quick fire.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell or Jaylen Brown?
Donovan Mitchell.
Wow.
Hey,
That was quick.
No, I'm not.
I'm Sam Brown.
Yeah, I'm not a Jaylen Brown fan.
Why?
I know he's the Finals MVP and all of that. I just think to be at that level, to be the highest paid player he was when he signed that contract, you need to be able to at least sign your name with your left hand. I don't think you could do it.
Oh,
Dude, have you seen the clips? Have you seen the clips?
I just think he's corny. I've seen some. He tried to spit out some bar the other day, and it was.
But he's
horrible.
actually weirdly enough though he's
Smart,
he's a
yeah.
genius.
He didn't sound smart on that one.
He definitely did his own contract, I reckon.
No, Donovan.
Yeah.
You guys are quick on that.
Yeah.
So if they were to play pickup, you're saying Donovan easy?
It's hard with the size if it's one-on-one, but if I have one player on my team, I'm taking Donovan.
If we're doing 1 or 2 dribble one-on-one, I'm taking Donovan Mitchell for sure every day of the week in that.
And I feel like you're angry at this contract. I feel like the contracts dictated what the answer was.
I mean, I'm angry with a lot of NBA contracts. That's a different show altogether that we could do. But yeah, at the time, I mean, he's won a championship now, so like he's in that echelon, right? He's already up there. I just think that he's still got more to unlock of his game to get to that full potential of what the contract is.
I love it. Well, Cock, thanks so much for coming on as special guest. We hope you're around next week and weeks to come. And our man, Jeff, he's on the Gold Coast there just with the collecting the cash to hopefully bring back and allow us to put on a couple of multis in our Punters Club pistols. As we know, the NBA playoffs are kicked off and there is no better time to check out the PointsBet, the NBA Bet Tracker, single markets or multis. Follow your NBA bets live in the PointsBet app. PointsBet, built different. This week, instead of talking a little bit of shit on the text, we've decided to take action, pistols, and we have some same gamers live on the app. So when you go through the weekend's games, we have a couple of specials there that, hopefully people can collect a little bit of cash, gamble responsibly, obviously. What have you got for us?
I mean, you talk about being built different. I am built different because I'm talking about, I think the Knicks, you talk about Cat. I think Cat's going to go over his line. I think he'll play well. I think they're going to get down in on Cade Cunningham, so his assist line looks lovely as well. Robertson needs to clean up the boards. That's for the Knicks one. And the Clippers, they're going to try and rough up and be a little bit more physical with Kawhi, but you can't because he's the greatest player I've ever seen. So he'll get over his rebound lines. And then I think Christian Brown and Norman Powell are both going to do for big games. There's 2 little complementary pieces. So I'm liking those as some same games. And then the Bucks one, I mean, take your pick. This is when you're looking at these now and we start to do these, anyone who's down 2-0 or 2-1 in these coming up games, the Stars are playing 40 minutes. Remember that when you're going to put on, and we'll do the same thing.
I like it. Well, speaking of the Stars, I've got a little special myself, and I think the Ant-Man needs to dominate at home. So I've got him for 30 into my favourite player, Crazy Eyes, for a double-double. You get about $8. Crazy Eyes will bring it home for the punters. I want you all to get on that. So gamble responsibly. Head to the PointsBet app, but we have put our multis up, and I want Crazy Eyes to bring it home. So next week when we're sitting here, I'm rolling around in a Bucks jersey, and I'm pulling the eyelids back like that, Crazy Eyes. Have you seen the man when he gets in a fight? Oh, that'll be me if this doesn't get up. I only joking. Well, it's been an elite show. The Aces NBA show. It's in full flight. Jeff will be back. The Cock hopefully back again. We've loved you, Cock and Pistols. You are on fire. They need the Claw to continue doing what he does. But as we said, check out some of the specials. Thank you to everyone that tunes in to the Aces NBA show. Like, subscribe, share it to a mate that loves ball. We'll see you right here next week on Oz American Aces.
You need your bodyguard to be quick. And Gas is as quick as they come. Still, he's not as quick as a PointsBet app where I can place my same game multi before he's had a chance to even... We'll call that a draw.
It's never been quicker to piece together an NBA same-game multi with PointsBet.
Memories.
PointsBet. Built different. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.